hi, I didn't see you there. You want to read a story? Well, I do. I'm so excited for you to be here. Anyways, we're going to read the story of Josefina the Josefina story quilt by Eleanor Coerr. We're going to read one chapter today. Josefina. It was May 1850. Faith was excited. They were going to California in a covered wagon. Please, Faith asked Ma, can I take Josefina? Josefina was her pet hen, and Faith loved her. She liked the way Josefina snuggled in her arms. She liked the way Josefina followed her around. Ma was baking bread for the long journey. Ask your pa, she said. I'm excited for this story. Pa and Faith's brother, Adam, were loading the wagon. Please, Pa, said Faith. Please, can I take Josefina? There's no room in the wagon for pets, Pa said. This isn't fair, Faith said. Adam can bring his colt. A colt's not a... Adam can bring his colt. A colt's not a pet, said Pa. A colt can carry a load of corn. What can Josefina do? Teased Adam. Adam teased. She's too old to lay eggs and too tough to eat. I guess she is too tough to eat. Faith's eyes filled with tears. She ran back to the house. Ma sat down in the rocker and held Faith on her lap. We must leave things behind, she said gently. I love this rocker, but there's no room for it in the wagon. Faith gulped down her sobs. This is a good book so far. I have looked after Josefina since she was a little chick, she said. What will happen to her? Perhaps a neighbor will take her, said Ma, but nobody wants a hen that's too old to lay eggs and too tough to eat. We're going to read one more chapter and then it's the end of today's story time. California Ho! Early in the morning, the wagon was ready. It had blue trim and a white cloth roof. A big flower pot on wheels, she said. Isn't it beautiful? Faith did not answer. She was worried about Josefina. Oh no, she's very worried. Did you pack the food? Mom asked Pa. And my kitchen things? Pa nodded. Then that is everything except the bedding, said Ma. Faith thought sadly, and Josefina. Pa threw the mattresses into the wagon. Ma carefully spread their patchwork quilts over them. Ooh, patchwork quilts. A nice word. We can't leave these behind. We can't leave these behind, she said. All our joy and sorrows are sewn up into these patches. Faith picked up Josefina and held her close. We can't leave my hen either, she said. We can't. Josephina must stay, Pop said. Pop said, so put her down. Faith just stood there. She stroked Josephina's feathers and tried so hard not to cry. Mom Pa gave a special look. Pa sighed. All right, Faith, he said. But if she makes any trouble, out she goes. Thank you, Pa, cried Faith. She'll be good, I promise. That's a big promise to make. Faith put Josephina in her cage. Pa hung it up high at the back of the wagon. Then he lifted Faith up next to it. Ma handed her the rag bag. Work on a patch whenever you can, she said. Faith knew how important quilts were for remembering. I guess they are important. This is the good part. California ho, shouted Pa. He snapped his long whip. Crack! The oxen began to move. The bells tinkled. The heavy wagon chains clanked. And the wheels began their creaky song. Creak, creak, creak. Faith smiled happily at Josephina. This would be their home on the long trail west. Faith took some calico for the rag bag. I will make my first wagon train patch, she said. Faith began to sew a wagon wheel with careful, tiny stitches. And I think that is the end of the chapters. Okay. How'd you like the story, guys? Hopefully you did. Gone wrong. But can you hear me? I can't hear you. Okay. I guess that was a good story then. We're going to do the whole rest of the book tomorrow. But until then, bye guys!